Alright, here we are in what turns out to be the final match of the night to decide the second place advancee from Group B of ASL Challenge League Round 16. There is money on the line here, and of course a prestigious spot to, prestigious invite spot to Season 6. Down here in the bottom of Varney Research Station is Team Ascension's Orange Protoss, fighting for that slot in the round of 8, Rengen.
And his opponent up at the top of the map just lost a series to a Protoss, but intends to bounce right back into things. It is My Insanity's PengWin. He tried a few of the aggressive tactics there last game. Probably won't on Vonnie. Doesn't really make much sense. Given that there's just the tiny ramp and everything.
No. There are a couple that you can bust out.
Yeah.
But, there's a really interesting 7-pool build that you can actually drone drill on Varney. So you 7-pool, pull your drones, and it basically beats pretty much every gateway expand, I think. I mean, it all comes down to micro in the end, as does any street situation. But you get a pretty strong advantage versus most gateway expands, and indeed some forge expands. But either way, Rengen is playing it pretty regular sort of style. Making
and there
use
are
of that,
6 lings coming for PengWin.
But yeah, this is kind of 2 more lings than you usually see. Yeah. But he is going into droning after this. I guess he wants to see if he can get any damage done. He shouldn't be able to. Rengen will have a full wall off.
Yeah, he should.
But I think PengWin likes. Yeah, PengWin likes to see what he can get done with these links. He does. He has pretty much every game just sent them straight across the map, rather than doing the more typical kind of couple across the map to scout and a couple for kind of denial of proxy pylons. But I guess it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah,
it's kind of
go up here. Look, it does kind of. It can be annoying for this, which is you make the zealot play this little dancing game, and then this happens. Yeah, this is really annoying as a Protoss player, but as that can happen. You have to be so careful when you move it back and forth that you don't leave this gap like just happened.
Yeah, of course there's no fast speed or anything to follow this up.
No,
so
it's not deadly, it's just obnoxious.
Yeah, basically. Not deadly, just obnoxious. The surround on the zealot though.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it's going to get taken down. And yeah, that leaves 4 lings in the base. Very, very annoying. But with the Mothership Core out now, he will be able to clean them all out. They're all on quite low health because PengWin's micing away from the zealot. So, lacking the focus fire there means they are going to get. Okay, now a little A move there from Rengen on those probes.
He's going to lose one.
Yeah, I mean, overall, that's pretty good for PengWin. Trading off the 6 lings for a zealot, a couple probe pulls, and an actual probe is pretty nice. He's not going to see the Stargate, though, so he doesn't get the essential tech scout he was really after.
Yep, true enough.
Now the Stargate coming in, most likely going to be an Oracle coming out first. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind about that. Oracle or Phoenixes are both pretty viable kind of, I guess, openers. Stargate, first units come out with Stargate in PvZ. I actually think I'd personally favour Phoenixes a bit more. Oracles are a bit more hit and miss. Phoenixes you can get a bit more guaranteed damage done, and particularly against PengWin, who loves his Mutilisks. I think, Phoenixes.
Yeah, and it will be a Phoenix. And, I agree with that. Particularly, I think on this map too, you can clear out Overlords very well, and then kind of control a lot of the vision down the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that's important here.
And just a single Sultryling harassing a probe as it goes across the map, but nothing much doing here. And yeah, actually reeling the first Phoenix just to try and kill off some Overlords. It's perfectly okay to do. But of course it does give PengWin the opportunity to actually pull some of his Overlords back. But there are still 3 out on the map that he couldn't really get back home in time, even if he tried. Exactly. So just going to keep them out. Most likely
we get someone that knows the typical positioning of Overlords here. Like, he knows where Zerg is generally going to put them, and he's about right.
Yeah.
We'll go after the second. Yeah, the other one's trying to recall back to the safety of a hatchery, as there are now spores down in each mineral line.
It is the sort of thing that is very much definitely worth learning. And it's something you can talk to like any of your, even like kind of plat diamond leagues will know where you position your overlords, where you put your proxy pylons, where you put your proxy tech, all that sort of stuff that is so useful to know. And it's really easy information to get from anybody who plays the race, but requires a bit more.
I know I've seen on Team Liquid before, like in some of the Zerg strategy stuff, just actual drawn maps of like the flight path for your first, second, third, fourth, fifth overlord. Yeah,
and then of course Terran players get hold of that, position one Marine on some of the flight paths, and then you get counter flight paths. There's one of the things I love about StarCraft. So much strategy and counter strategy goes into tiny decisions like that. But either way, Rengen's getting his third base up. He will be pretty much 100% safe against these Lings coming in. He's got that Mothership Hall. And in fact, the next is almost done, so he can poke an overcharge it. This is a great position as well to get a few money force fields. But yeah, looks like he's going to be playing out the pretty standard game, going into his Colossi after the Stargate. Whereas PengWin is going to be going towards a Hydra-based composition. He does have the Rotron down, but whether he goes Roach Hydra or Ling Hydra is another question. Usually you want to be like Ling Hydra is great against Stargate openers, but of course Rengen is countering the counter with his Colossi, which will be out on the field.
Yeah, that is often what you'll do. Like, you're kind of provoking the squishy response, and then you are instantly going into something that counters that. So that is kind of the trend. And then, of course, the Zerg wants to swing back to, like, Viper or something like that to completely be annoying. Yeah.
A lot of Hydras coming out here.
Yeah, they're a large number.
He is actually getting +1 attack for his Lings as well. So it looks like he's going to move more towards Ling Hydra here. Now, without the ability to actually really fight these Colossi, or the Colossi, he won't have Spire. He could build some Corruptors for it, because he does have that Spire coming down. Actually, does force a drop on a couple of those.
Two drones left at 1 hit point each.
Yeah, that overpowered Zerg regen though. And I think he lost a Phoenix for that as well, so I guess Rengen extending, PengWin kind of baiting out the Phoenixes. Either way you want to look at it, pretty good result for PengWin. The problem for him is how he deals with this Colossus. There is one on the field now, but without range. It does have the same range of these Hydralisks. Actually, do the Hydralisks have the range upgrade? Yeah, they do. Of course they do. Range upgrade, best upgrade. So, still no range starter for the Colossi. Means the Hydralisks actually are going to be okay against the Colossus. There's very little lateral gateway tanking force. PengWin now knows there's no range of the Colossus as well. I'm pretty sure the Lings came in range, but we'll see what kind of fight he can take. Rengen has a nice little pocket for himself there. This Colossus is going to be defending itself pretty nicely. Force fields as well keep a lot of these Hydralisks away from the main army, and the Lings just hurt themselves onto the bastion of Rengen's defense. But man, these Hydralisks kill things fast.
Yeah, they have just wicked DPS on them, but yeah, good job splitting out so he's only fighting the Lings and just keeping the Hydras away. For the time being, they're trying to set up a really good arc here on the outside in case the Protoss does step in, and here he comes.
Here we go.
Through Lings, trying to get the wraparound. No force fields.
Yeah, pretty nice. The Hydralisks focus firing down a few of the Colossi. The second Colossus is being focus fired down, but does step away, and these, oh man, they just melt. They're incinerated by the Colossus there, and PengWin loses his entire army. Rengen really loses one Colossus there and a handful of gateway units. Very expendable.
I'm not sure that I understand this. So 10 mutas are coming out from PengWin, in addition to 6 Corruptors, but you're aware that there's a Stargate, and you're aware that there's 4 Phoenixes that are still alive. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you build mutas into that generally?
If you're PengWin, I guess you do.
I guess so.
And the Muta Corruptor is still all right against Phoenix.
Yeah,
like it's not.
The Corruptors make it okay, but
yeah, Corruptors are just so good against Phoenixes. Without the bonus damage Phoenixes get against light, without the and with the 2 base armor Corruptors spawn with, they're like perfectly fine against Phoenixes. They don't do so much damage, and the Phoenixes can still kite them around. once they have Anion Pulse Crystals. But it's a much tighter margin, and those Corruptors still get the hits in. They eventually wear down the Phoenixes. We will see. PengWin still is going to find it tough to take army-on-army fights, particularly as Storm comes in here.
Yeah, it's just so big now as well, and you don't want the Protoss to be like this, just on 3 base without really a strong challenge to it. He also made a single Void Ray. If he continues with that, those are obviously really good against Corruptors, so you could stand to fight in that way.
Absolutely.
And it at least delays, at the very least, it delays the damage going to the Colossus.
Yes.
Either they target fire down and then they're going to lose their Corruptors, or they go for the Void Ray. And so a second one is coming out. I think you will continue with those.
Yeah, although to be honest, PengWin's ground army is so kind of Ling-based that Lings just become basically and almost completely invalidated as soon as like one Colossus hits the field. They just melt so quickly to those Colossi, the AoE damage, but I guess it doesn't really matter. The Lings are going to try and run and get a cancel on this third base. They might manage it before the Colossi get there. Looks like they are going to very quick with their DPS, with their +1 upgrade there, and loses 1 Ling to get the cancel on that third base. Very nice. And PengWin just keeps on building up his army. Big force of Lings.
This is interesting. So the Mutas are going to come in, and this base is actually pretty undefended. The Twilight Council, or the Templar Archives is there. The Robotics Bay is there. A lot of the gateways are there, and obviously the workers. And
Rengen,
he's not responding.
He's going to try and go for the base trade, I think. And PengWin's already won from this situation once, but actually he loses a couple of mutas there. He lost a lot of his Lings as well, and Lings are much better DPS for their cost than Muclis. Muclis actually pretty low single target DPS. They just kind of clump up, and that's how they take fights. But this is tough, because this is much less a situation where PengWin can kind of win a fight when it goes in. And Rengen is splitting up his army. These Zealots are going to do their DPS to all of PengWin's army. And back across the map, PengWin, a big swell of Lings has actually come in and is going to be tearing through a lot of what Rengen has here. But PengWin has, I think, no drones out on the map. Oh no, he has one. Okay, he has in the bottom, in the gold base of Rengen, he does have a hatchery and a couple of drones. These Phoenixes, oh man, they fly right into the Muta-Corruptible, and every single one goes down. All of the probes are falling to kind of miss rallies, and this is great for PengWin. 3 probes left, 2 probes, 1 probe left on the map. Where is it? It is kind of building pylons around the map. Looks like these overseers from PengWin are going to see it though. There's just nexuses being thrown down.
He's got a nexus, but
he's going to go full base trade, but I don't know. PengWin's army is more mobile. He can choose where to take the engagements. On the other hand, PengWin has 3 workers left, but tons of minerals. If he split, I think he needs to split up these workers, to be honest, so he can base trade, because there's no kind of, I'm just going to keep on mining from this base, when Rengen has the army to find it and kill it.
Yeah, this is definitely a really weird situation here. There's so many Corruptors. Like, I'm not sure there's enough Stalkers here, but there's tons of Storm. So he can't come near it. But then the High Templars are the slowest thing in the universe. So, like, it's gonna be hard to make him. But then these Zealots, so he's gonna find this base. The Zealots are gonna find the other one.
This is where like all the workers are though. I think he couldn't keep all those workers there.
Hello, we are back with what could be the last map of the night, but this player certainly doesn't hope so. We are on Moonlight Madness, and down in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is My Insanity's Zerg player. He is PengWin.
And his opponent, across the map, up in the top right, is Team Ascension's Orange Protoss, Rengen. Of course, he is 1 game away from the round of 8, finishing in the money, making that dirty esports dollars, and securing himself the invite to ASL Season 6. Now, once again, electing for the Gateway expand. He's going to be sending his probe scout out to see what he can see on PengWin's side of the map. PengWin is trying to kind of juke that probe, but I guess it does see the drone moving out to take the expand, but not the biggest of deals. Yeah, it's just going to be Scout City at the minute.
Yep, and we get the hatch coming down at the natural, obviously expected. Ooh. And yeah, Rengen throwing the pylon at the back rocks here as well, and looks like he's beginning to wall on that side too.
Yeah, he's starting kind of a wall on both sides. Now, this wall at the front here for Rengen is actually quite Baneling bust vulnerable, because it does, of course, have the pylon in the wall off. On a typical, or typically you'd wall off with a pylon set further back, and then with a gateway cyber
the two strong buildings,
these sort of positions, which gives you a bit of a stronger wall against kind of Lings harassing, against Baneling busts, against any of that sort of stuff. But because of the kind of duality, the double wall, or the double ramp here, Rengen is going to have to throw down a wall at the back just in case PengWin comes through the back.
So here come those like 6 Lings, and the Zealot won't be able to stop him here either. Is the other thing. It's bigger than their space.
The size is a bit too big. PengWin's gonna see if he's taking the back expansion. Of course, sees no expansion there. I think PengWin would have just swarmed Lings if he'd seen that back expansion. But the Lings do take out the Zealot there. A Zealot for 2 Lings is pretty good, and he's just gonna keep them in the base, keep them scouting around, and see what he can see. Ooh, that was a bit close. I think a slight mispathing from PengWin, but he does force out the probe pull before he corrects it, so that's pretty nice for him.
I kind of hope he does. I don't know what he'll do, but I think what I would like to do in this position, run these 2 Lings in here and just keep them there.
Keep them in this big open space?
Yeah, keep them in this open space. Yeah, start working on these rocks or something. And they're just always there.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
And like later on, 2 Lings
even
could
cooler?
just run in from somewhere.
He builds a Baneling nest and makes them into 2 Banelings.
Yeah, exactly. Like that could be a devastating thing. Like, when they forget about it, like in 5 minutes.
20 minutes later in the game, just 2 Banelings running, and Rengen goes, "Where did those come from?" But that would be pretty funny. Either way, we're going to see PengWin getting his tech up a little more, moving towards the Roach Warren. Still, kind of his gas has just come down, really, or just actually started being mined, I guess. So no lair, no big commitments to that gas. The first thing he's going to spend on is going to be that Meteor boost for the Lings. One of the upgrades you get basically every game, because Lings are just so much better with Meteor boost, with the run bys, engaging, disengaging, and just getting them surrounds. Whereas Rengen, we see building his gas count up. No big tech commitment made for him yet either. So we'll see when he decides to actually go for that. And he's actually fully walled off at the back. So when he does want to move out and take his 3rd base, which he will almost certainly take in this kind of in-base natural location, it's going to be... he's going to actually have to break down a pylon there. Yeah, there we go. Now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so that actually... Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting sort of thing. He actually stops before he actually breaks down the pylon just to check there's no Lings doing their funny business. I'm sure he remembers now that there's 2 Lings somewhere in here that have nearly got halfway through the destructible debris. Nearly. But whatever. I mean, Lings are about the worst building units, apart from maybe workers to break through destructible debris. They do take quite some time. But Rengen's going to be scouting in with this Phoenix. PengWin does manage to avoid getting most of his roaches seen by the Phoenix. So when as he does move out with this little attack, of course the Lings have been working away. It's under half health now, fairly significantly. So he's going to bust through this pretty quickly, especially when the other Lings come in to attack on the other side. And Rengen's going to be relying on his force fields here to actually defend this. But it's such a wide open area.
Yeah, so wide, and these sentries are coming up to check those rocks, and then kind of drifting back. So I still don't think he really knows about the other. And he's going to take a poke at the front.
No. He's checking the other one. Just with the probe now. But this is the thing. The third base is so far away from the natural ramp. Oh, the Lings don't actually want to go in there with the sentry there. Yeah, the third base is so far away from the natural ramp. With PengWin's speed being so much faster, he might actually be able to race the army all the way around there.
I think he can, and his little poke at the front of the natural has drawn the army completely over there. And then he's going to go after these rocks. He's aware of it because he's got the pylon there.
Oh, Rengen's coming back. He's coming back in, and he's actually having to single file through all his base, all his SimCity. And PengWin's going to get himself a great position set up on this thing. But the Folk Novichos goes down. PengWin has to go home. He really can't make anything happen here. Spy is finished now for PengWin as well, and he can start 10 Mutalisks. Is he going to? He's just saving it up for now. I don't think he wants to start them yet. And if he does, I mean, he might have to go into a base trade again with Rengen moving across the map like this. We'll see.
Yeah, Rengen's blink is about halfway done. He could end up, obviously, I think PengWin would lose if he has to fight here. And he may be forced to.
Oh, the time warps and the force field is going to come down to follow this up in just a second, I'm sure. Actually, yeah, there they are. Cutting off most of this. The Lings have got into the natural base, though, and actually they're going to be tearing through this probe line. But, beautiful warpins there. Completely blocking that ramp. And unfortunately, he moves them out of position, and the Lings do slip past and get into that main mineral line again. The probes have to run, and they turn and fight, actually. I'm not sure that's the right decision. They're going to lose a lot of them. However, Rengen has cleaned up all of the roaches, but this army moving back and forth and back and forth and back and forth just gives PengWin more and more time with his mutas to move them across the map. And Rengen's only kind of defense against mutas is one cannon in his third base mineral line, or not even in the mineral line.
Yeah, just off to the side there. And the mutas actually pulled back. They were kind of in the clear, but they pulled back potentially to defend as they saw this walking on to creep.
Yeah. This is going to be a fairly difficult hold PengWin, but how many Lings has he actually got? He hasn't really got many. Oh, no, he's got a fair few in the back of this natural.
There's a lot hidden back there.
Yeah.
Force fields could be a big factor for that, but we'll see as he comes and jumps on that. Force field's going off.
Yeah, and PengWin folks firing down these sentries, very expensive units, and one of the kind of linchpins of this anti-muta defense. The Stalkers do have blink now, but if they blink anywhere, they just go out of this nice little force field defense, and PengWin denies the recall back. He's going to completely clean up this army. 4 Zealots come in only to see their Stalker friends die. And now Rengen double Stargates, panic Stargates being thrown down. He knows he has nothing to really deal with what PengWin has right now. And that's not a good situation.
Yeah, he's getting some blink stalkers out here, taking shots at mutas. Doesn't get one. He got 2 a little low, but didn't focus fire, unfortunately, and now they're dead. These ones warped in, almost killed immediately.
Oh man! Oh, the only one muta goes down there. PengWin's muta micro there was incredible.
Really good, yeah. There were times that you could tell that Rengen was trying.
Team Ascension, Rengen. And PengWin's going to be sending out that initial scout pretty early on. I mean, it's about the normal time. Zerg typically tend to send that drone scout out quite early, and Rengen is moving towards a gateway expand. It's very rare to see the high ground forge expand now. I haven't really seen it at all in Heart of the Swarm. Not that I can think of. But
it's like the most passive possible thing.
I mean, it was only a thing in Wings of Liberty because you forge expanded like all the time, and you only did it on high ground to be a little safer against 6-ball and to be deceptive, really. So now PengWin's going to try and block this for, I guess, as long as possible, but he doesn't really have to commit to it. He just wants to know that an effort is being made by Rengen to take the natural, and of course confirming that he's just going to back on home. He can feel pretty comfortable in the safety of his hatch first, knowing there's no forge there's no forge on the way, knowing there's no kind of possibility of cannon rush or any of those weird shenanigans going on. So yeah, the game shapes up to go into pretty normal sort of stead.
Yep, and no pool yet for our Zerg player. He's taking the 3 hatch before pool. And the Nexus going down on the other side there.
Yeah, this goes into being a little risky even against a gateway expand. There's a lot of big timings Rengen could put on to really punish this.
And he's aware of it immediately. So like he came over and scouted the 3rd to make sure. Yeah. So he's aware of it right away.
Well, actually, I think PengWin did get that drone scout, of course, and that let him know. Knew, Rengen went for the Nexus before Cybercore. It wasn't like a Nexus first or anything, but I guess if PengWin sees the Cybercore before the Nexus, there's a lot more possibility of 7 gates, of all those kind of really hardcore aggressive timings that can make you cry if you go 3 hats for a pool. So he goes 3 hats for a pool because he knows that there's much less Rengen can do to really punish it. So it's still pretty good. It's still okay for PengWin. Like, doesn't look like Rengen's going anything aggressive anyway.
It's not an automatic loss or anything.
No.
It's opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he does still have the probe around in the area. Whether he'll eventually do anything with that or come in and take a peek again, as he does.
Yeah.
He came just far enough to see that there was creep.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he needs to see. I guess he's just checking for the cancel, checking if there's anything deceptive going on. But I can't really see why you go 3 hats for a pool into canceling.
Cancel,
because you don't. It doesn't build into more links because your pool is still on the way. You might as well just do that. The slowing all in I was talking about earlier. If you're going to do something aggressive off a 3 hats for a pool, that's what I'd go for.
Yeah.
But either way, Stargate coming down from Rengen again. He has really favoured these Stargate openers in his PvZ, and I can't say I disagree with him. As much as good as it is to vary it up, the Stargate opening is pretty varied in itself. We've seen Oracle come out of him, we've seen Phoenixes come out of him, and both of them have their merits and demerits, and it really kind of helps you a lot, usually as well, in securing that 3rd base too.
Yeah, for sure. It's less of a obviously direct attack style, more of a getting control of the sky and knowing what your opponent's doing and things like that. Yeah,
really great for that. And Phoenixes coming out of Rengen, they haven't actually done that much to discourage PengWin from going useless. PengWin's just seen Phoenixes and gone, aha.
Yeah.
I know exactly what counters these. Useless. But I mean, so far Rengen hasn't really gotten into the situation where he's been going around with a big Phoenix pack. Chasing.
Last time he kind of stopped at 4 and then only started remaking when he did see a lot of mutas.
PengWin basically just builds corruptors and then that's fine. And I mean that is fine. It's a pretty good answer to it. You see Phoenixes, they don't rule out Fireplay from the Zerg. You just build a couple corruptors in there and get a mix in, and then you can fight the Phoenixes a lot better, and it requires the Protoss to commit a lot more to be able to actually counter your composition with Storms and Void Rays a bit more maybe and the like. But either way, 3rd base goes down. I think PengWin did see it with the Overlord. He saw that.
I think he was close enough.
And he's actually building quite a few roaches, so we'll see whether he tries to push in to attack this. I'm not sure how much damage he'll be able to do. The Phoenixes can lift up roaches and just kind of take them out the fight while the rest of the army cleans up what there is. But I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, when he comes in.
Yeah, 3 Phoenix swinging in. Given the position of the queen, they might be able to pick that up, but it wouldn't be a 1 lift kill.
Yeah, only with the 3 Phoenixes. Still 2 lifts for a queen is fine. I mean, it's not like
no, it definitely still works.
a trade you want to make. So,
And yeah, a lot of lings and roaches now making their way. Are they going to try and poke up to the third? That's where the sentries certainly are. He's splitting lings off to go the other side. Look at it. Oh, I wonder if you noticed there is just a hole in the wall. And I think he does notice
he sees it. I think he sees it. Oh, the warping again. But you know what?
Yeah, with
roaches don't care, son. Yeah. And actually, these force field's working against Rengen now, but the roach is holding it for so long, and I think he's going to be able to get the natural nexus down. This is going to be a pretty big pick-off. The sentry's just taking a bit too long. PengWin's just leaving those 3 roaches was such a great decision down there, and now he has the kind of defensive advantage of that wall. He's gonna he's gonna let the approach army up there, but he still trades off pretty cost efficiently against these sentries. Sentries so expensive here, and this was not the world's biggest investment for PengWin. Oh my god, 22 more roaches in production behind this. PengWin smells blood, and he's just gonna go for it. And having cut a third of the economy off of his opponent, I don't think he's wrong to do so. Roach speed on the way as well.
Yeah, I can't see almost any way that he stops the killing of the third base now as well.
Yeah.
That was so many sentries down that's it. So he won't be able to stop that. He is taking this wide path around so that he's not seen.
Yeah. 1 Void Ray, I mean, it kills an infinite number of roaches, sure, but
speed.
I mean, it doesn't do it fast enough to stop this Nexus dying. We see the Phoenixes trying to get what they can done. I think they picked off like a drone there, but obviously they're driven away by the Spore Crawl and the Queen, and eventually Rengen's just gonna go, oh dear, those roaches.
So a group of lings, I think they're gonna try and run back in the natural. They are.
Oh no!
And then they're gonna just swing into the third.
Perfect. Yeah, so they pulled the whole army back.
Whether he GG's here or not, this is GG, but he may obviously stay because this is his last life in the tournament, but so he might as well try. But
Poke no trigger down. It might kill 1 roach. I don't think it's going to. Yeah, it doesn't even get a single roach. 1 hit away, and PengWin can just get on out of there. Why stay? If you stay, you just get force fielded in and killed by the Void Ray. So keeping the Protoss suppressed on 2 base again, while PengWin is taking its 4th. This is beautiful for him. Tunneling Claws coming in as well as Hydralisks adding on to this composition.
Hydras, yeah.
Yeah, he's making his opponent go, okay, so you're committing into loads and loads of roaches. Void Rays are going to deal with that eventually. Sure, you may be killing my bases, but eventually I'm going to get out like 6 Void Rays and your roaches won't do anything effective. But the Hydralisks, I'm going to answer that perfectly. And Rengen sees that now, and that's not a good thing for him to see. I mean, it's better to know it than not, but
yeah, and he's nowhere near he doesn't have a robo, so he's nowhere near anything that can deal with the Hydras either. And of course, the loss of the force fields earlier on move command here, but still fine.
That's a bit. I mean, the advantage, I guess, is he gets an enormous concave, but he can't really push down that ramp, but he can trade off, and I think that was
force the issue, but. Lings joining the main army, they could again do one of these swings around the far right and go after the third, or they could just go with this army. Burrowing the roaches for a little regen. He's going to have, the claws to move soon. He's going to have Hydra speed soon, in just a few seconds. And also getting a Spire behind it. So there's just no safe area.
Yeah, going into the melee upgrades as well. So I guess PengWin plans on the base trade eventually. Oh, he's checking for detection. Finds none. And it's the Sharks. He knows. He saw the telltale little borrow sign. But those force fields are going to stop Rengen from really moving down this ramp. So PengWin goes, you know what, fine. You do what you like. I'm going to send these lings up there. I can fight you here with my Hydralisks, with my roaches. Although actually the force fields are doing a pretty good job from Rengen. These Void Rays up on a pretty high number of kills. But PengWin again takes down this Nexus at the natural base. He's even going to trade off against some units before he kills the last 12 health of it. There it goes. And PengWin can afford to make these trades to keep his opponent suppressed. He's on so much higher income. His bank is enormous. He can just keep on remaxing and trading to his heart's content. And Rengen still actually doesn't have an observer, so there's still no detection for those roaches, those sharks, land sharks.
Yeah, that could be obviously an issue going forward. More have been made. The Phoenix is continually moving around these spaces, but there's nothing to do. No. They're not having any luck really finding much. It looks like these stalkers are coming across. This may be just the last attempt at a push. It actually is a reasonably sized army here, particularly with the Void Ray along with it. But
I mean, if PengWin catches it in a burrow trap, though.
Yeah.
Rip Phoenixes. Okay, one survives. But yeah, with still no observer. Like PengWin just burrows his Hydralisks up here. He needs to group his Hydralisks and Roaches out. That's how Rengen could win if he just catches these Hydras out. But here come the Roaches. PengWin is actually just going to go move straight down the ramp, take engagement. There's only one Void Ray left, and that's kind of the power unit. The force fields are okay, but burrowed Roaches don't really care about them. The Hydralisks alone can put up a decent fight against this army from Rengen, and he can't. It's going to be tough to move out that ramp though. PengWin does have to back off. Can't really trade out too well against it. But
the burrow, the Hydra,
important bit of information.
Yeah.
Still no detection.
Yeah, and he's still not making it. He's trying to take this fourth as a way to claw back in. The army of PengWin is going around the other side. We'll tear down these rocks to open another attack path. And you then double back here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to try and... man, I really want to watch PengWin set up a burrow trap, but eventually Rengen's going to add detection.
So finally the mutas are out. They're going to be swinging over on the left-hand side of the map.
I think
no defense there either.
When he sees them.
Yeah. No defense. He's finally making an observer, though.
Well, that's something.
He sees the War Prism and he's going to go after it.
War Prism. Oh, no. Those rocks opening up the attack path for PengWin, let him get into the third base. He's going to take that out again. Rengen, this is going to be more than just like the third of his economy he was losing last time. With his main mining out, this represents nearly half the economy from Rengen just evaporating in an instant for a small handful of units from PengWin, which even trade themselves off pretty well against the Stalkers.
Yeah,
and the the Mutualisks come into the main base. They find a couple of Phoenixes, but this is actually where Rengen gets the micro. PengWin does have to micro pretty carefully, but gets one decent hit and doesn't quite get the second. But the Phoenixes do actually stop the Mutalisk being able to do any damage.
I didn't even notice him make those, but
yeah. Should try and get this fourth base where they can, though, but I guess the moment's passed now. He's going to move up anyway.
Definitely hanging in here, but he is obviously being spread a bit thin. Mutas are coming in now to engage. Roach is coming forward. Good force fields, but not enough to stop yet. And as the Phoenixes have to actually fight, they will get killed.
Yeah, pretty nice little upgrade advantage for PengWin as well, and the Lings coming from back.
They've got back,
as well. The Stalkers blinking away are going to be able to trade themselves off a little more cost efficiently against the Mutalisks, but that is not what Rengen needs right now.
No, we're literally 74 supplied to 200.
Yeah, 79
he's remaxing on 30 roaches.
PengWin has 10 times the opponent. I'm like, GG. PengWin advances towards to the round of 8. Matching his achievement from Season 3, and we'll be back to see if he can best it a few weeks later.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.